Good morning and welcome back to the Burnside Bowling Club here in Christchurch, where we've got the feature of the Paras, their final, and we've got Julia O'Connell of Waverley in Invercargill and Carolyn Crawford of Sinclair in Dunedin, up against Snow Reardon from the Burnside Club here in Christchurch, and Steve Walker from Awamawa or down further. Well, where would we say? Just Timaru, Oamaru. And with me I've got Pam Walker from Omakau. And Pam, of course, played in the Paraside and the Parajacks and the Bowls 3-5, which are the televised event, and now sitting with me this morning. So, welcome, Pam. Good to have you along.
Oh, thank you. It's good to be here.
So, you obviously you've played in the event.
Yes.
You got beaten yesterday, did you?
We did. We made the semi-final, and Snow and Steve beat us.
Right.
Yesterday.
But you enjoy playing, obviously, in these events, don't you? It's good to be all together, isn't it?
It's wonderful. Yeah. We haven't seen each other, some of us, for quite a while, so it's good to catch up as well. So
Commonwealth Games, eh?
Well, there's 3 of us ladies, and they're taking 2.
So there's 3 ladies, and they take 2. Is that right?
That's it.
So there's yourself. Is Carolyn?
No, Carolyn's not in now. There's Julie O'Connell, Linda Bennett, and myself.
Oh, yes, Linda Bennett. Yeah, no, Linda. So right, so it's and they're taking 2.
They take a pair, ladies' pair and a men's pair.
Right, and how many are in contention in the men?
Well, there's actually 4. Well, actually no, 3. Because Kevin Esplin is not in it now, but there's Graham Skillern, Bruce Wakefield, and Mark Noble.
Oh, Mark Noble, of course, yes. Well, the chess player.
Yep, he's not down here for this event. No.
So this final, and earlier on, of course, we did see the singles final where we saw Graham Skillern up against the local up against Bruce Wakefield, and it was Graham Skillern running out the winner by 21 shots to 3. Pretty convincing. Did you see the game, Pam?
Yes, most of it. Yeah, he did. He played well.
Played very well, didn't he?
Yes, yeah. No.
And throughout this coverage as well, I'll give you some updates as they come around in regards to the post-section play of the Summerset men's pairs, which is the second round now getting underway, and the women's singles, which is also the first round, is all completed. I can tell you there's been a few upsets already, as one would expect in post-section play. So always good to be able to come to the Nationals, Pam, and rekindle friendships and all that sort of thing. And
oh, it's great. And especially because we could drive up. And
yes.
It's a nice drive up from Central. And
it's a nice spot down there, isn't it, Central? Lovely all through there, isn't it?
Yeah, well, we're out actually at Lauder, which is a little bit south of Omakau. And it's really in the country, so it's very quiet. So we come to the busy city of Christchurch.
So I can tell you very quickly that just a couple of results. Nicole Toomey, the defending champion, defeated Reen Bellish as she's through to the next round. Selena Goddard defeated Lisa Prideaux by 19 shots to 17. And I can also tell you that Mike Galloway has departed in the pairs. He was defeated by Sean Scott and Sean O'Neill. They defeated Michael Galloway and Martin Dixon. And that Calvin Scott defeated Morris Symes here at Burnside. So just as these results filter in, we'll keep you up to date just throughout this coverage of those post-section play of the men's pairs. But concentrate on this final of the pairs. Snow Reardon running down to get to the jack and moves the jack out to the side. And holding one shot, that's the blue bowl directly in behind the jack, which is shot. Caroline Crawford, of course, from Sinclair, won a New Zealand Peers title.
Yes.
At Tyree, and defeated Joe Edwards and Val Smith playing with Caroline was playing for the first time with Anne Muir, the past president of Bowls New Zealand, and they defeated Joe Edwards and Val Smith. As we see, Crawford draw the shot itself, just in behind the jack. So yeah, Caroline is a very, very good player in her own right. As I say, winner of a New Zealand Peers title. So here, Snow Reardon on the forehand with the yellow bowls, trying to get down to the counting area. And Steve Walker's looking pretty closely as it gets down. Might get one of the counters. It does.
Oh, yeah.
And well played, leaving the Crawford O'Connell side holding the shot. Caroline Crawford will no doubt draw again.
What's the position? Is it just one, Julie?
So you'll hear that through the mic there. You would have heard, just checking, was Caroline Crawford to see whether they've got one shot or two shots. It's two's the call.
I might as well go this way then.
So an all South Island affair here, isn't it?
It is.
Yes.
That's correct, yeah.
And how long have you been playing, Pam?
About 14 years.
Well, you've been on the scene a while, haven't you? So another just question, how's the weight coming here from Caroline? It's not going to run all the way. No, it's not. But a good start for the...
Yep.
And you saw Steve Walker quickly indicate, yes, that we are 2 down. So you played in the Bowls 3-5, the televised program. The great experience.
Oh, it was fabulous.
You enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was really, really good.
Quite a trek though each week, wasn't it? From Omacau to Auckland, isn't it?
It was. It was a lot of tripping around.
It would have been.
Yeah, it was exciting. Very exciting tournament. It's just such a shame they haven't been able to have it this year.
Well, it's been a very challenging time, you know, and of course from an international point of view, not being able to host not host, but to take part in firstly the World Bowls and then the Trans-Tasman. So it's certainly been a challenging couple of years, and as we build now towards the Commonwealth Games, it's certainly a difficult challenge for the New Zealand selectors. So did you play at the Gold Coast in 2018?
No.
So
No.
if you're selected, will that be your first cap?
Yes, it would be.
Oh.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty good, wouldn't it? Fingers crossed. That's the attitude. Yeah, that's the attitude.
Yeah, the final trial is at Waitangi weekend.
Correct. Yes.
Which isn't too far off now.
No, it's not. And of course, from the other player, from the New Zealand squad point of view as well, still got the challenge for our Australian-based players with that all-important training camp final trial weekend. Because 3 of the squad, of course, Ali Forsyth, Caitlin Inch and Krista Leave are all in Australia. 2 in the Gold Coast and Ali in Melbourne, and we're just going to have to wait and see what happens relative to a few factors to see whether they are back. But it would certainly be the desire for the New Zealand selectors to have them back. But in these COVID times, one just doesn't know, does it?
No, it's dead right. They've got a purpose made green over there at Mount Tambourine.
Yes, it is. It's it's up on the further up, not right down the Gold Coast. It's more inland, and they've spent a lot of time and effort, and hopefully, well, we'll wait and see. But still got June penciled in.
Yeah, I've heard that it's 11 seconds in Lush.
Well, I know somebody who's been practicing on it quite a bit.
Yeah.
And it's around 11 to 12, and I also just for notation of that, I had confirmation earlier on this week, literally from out of World Bowls, that Leamington on Spa will be at between 12 and 13 seconds. And when I was there 2 years ago at Leamington on Spa, Yeah, that's about the pace that it was running. So that's not too bad, really.
No, it could be worse.
Oh yeah, I can remember the days of 8 and 9.
Yep.
In Manchester and in the women's world champs in Ayr in 2004. But Manchester was Manchester only needed a drop of rain on it each day to get to about 9 seconds. It was yeah,
like a drive each bowl.
Yeah, it was hard yakka. It was very Manchester, and of course the New Zealand men. This is pretty important for them because I don't know whether you're aware, Pam, but our last Commonwealth Games men's medal was actually at Manchester. It was Mike Kernahan, the medal in a bronze in the singles. And,
oh gosh!
And since then it's been barren.
Oh wow, we're overdue.
Yeah, very overdue, and I know Mike Kernahan, now part of the high performance side, who was that medalist, will certainly he'll be here later on today. In fact, had his daughter's wedding yesterday.
I heard that.
Yes, daughter Kate walked down the aisle yesterday with her husband Matt, and a big Kernahan occasion up in Hamilton.
Nice. I know Mike's been marvellous as coach down in Dunedin there, helping us all.
So here is Caroline Crawford now, scoring a 2 on the first end of this 15-end final. It looks like a bit of a wind getting up there. Just look out there, Pam, looking, because it was calm earlier on, but I just noticed a bit of a breeze. But so you played on the screen yesterday. It's running well, isn't it?
Yeah, we played the other way.
Yes, it was the other way you played, yeah.
And down a bit further. It was quite tricky, I thought, but...
Surface is good, though, isn't it?
Oh, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant, these greens.
So, Snow Reardon with the very, very... Even the yellow bowls looks on a pretty good line. How far is it going to run? And just goes by...
Yeah, Snow's home green, so...
Yes, it is. He's been here now for 3 or 4 years. He's been playing here. Snow has.
Yeah, I think this is his favourite green of the 3, he said.
Well, it is it's the green as well. Where in 2008 and 2016, where New Zealand won a number of gold medals and other coloured medals as well at World Championships.
Oh, right.
And this was always this green out there. Here was the green that was always used for the world events, the major events. And
I remember coming to see one of them, and it looked marvellous. Had all those flags across the front of all the country.
Yeah, all the country's flags go up on display. So here's Snow Reardon again trying to play down through the port to get down to the shot. He's got, as far as it's going to run, just going to tap to Jack, is he? No, just misses the Jack. Scoring a 2 on the first end did Caroline Crawford and Julie O'Connell. Remembering the men's singles was won earlier by Graham Scullin of the Takapuna Club in North Harbour up against Bruce Wakefield of the home club of Burnside. So here is Caroline Crawford, winner of New Zealand Pairs, the head court at Tyree. Her and Anne Muir of Whangarei, and I know that Anne's been watching all this live streaming because had seen some messages from Anne.
I mean, Steve.
Sure.
Yeah, we all went out for
I'd rather
a
stay
meal
here.
last night, which was nice at the Paras.
Was a group? Did you get a Papanui? Was it?
Yes.
Yeah, I heard there was a group heading that way.
See that wing bowl out there, Stevie? If I come just under that and be shot?
So Snow Reardon asking.
No, back there where your foot is. Yeah.
So you heard there, Snow Reardon endeavouring to draw around those bowls, of course, which you can certainly do on this surface. Take your green and get rewarded, can't you, Pam?
You can actually almost over-green it and it'll all come back.
Yeah, it's a sign of a good green, all right. And it's certainly got a wider track where this bowl has Snow Reardon and trying pretty hard. Just gets past it and he'll draw the shot.
This is a great
Oh,
pass.
great
No.
effort. Great effort.
Yeah.
So having a look for the count, whether it be one or whether it be two. Yeah.
Looks like 2.
Steve Walker and Julie O'Connell having a look to decide.
Umpire.
Calling for the umpire. Umpire coming out. We'll put the measure. So you've been playing 14 years, you say, correct?
Yes.
And always at Omaka? Has that been the
No, I played at Tyree.
Tyree? That's a nice club.
Yep. And Fairfield for a year or two before we went up to Lauder.
Now, there's something about Lauder. There's something I read about Lauder. Is there something quite historic about Lauder?
They have the Niwa people there, place there where they do
Oh,
all the
right.
wedding,
Okay.
send up balloons and test all the atmosphere and weather conditions. It's all the scientists are there
Is it on the edge of my green?
because it's very low light pollution.
No. Is it by
Oh, right.
area.
Well, of course, down south there, that's when that's the see the skies, isn't it? That's
Yes.
the
Can you make
Yep.
sure I can reach it when I go down there? Thank
Yeah,
you.
Naseby has a certified low light area.
and how many in the club at Omaka? What sort of?
Not a lot.
Not a lot.
We want some more lady members, please.
That's a nice way of saying. Yeah, we could do some new members,
Yeah.
a few more members. Is that fair?
We have had a few more. It's just that some of our members are getting older now, and
Yes.
not wanting to play so much.
Then
Yeah.
I'll knock the other one up.
So I think a few of the clubs are feeling like that in our area. But Hawera, it's booming, and Wanaka's booming.
Well, of course, Wanaka. So
One.
it was
One.
it was just the one,
One to snow.
and that bowl came in as shot.
Yes.
That was a deceptive angle, wasn't it?
Yep. It was.
So, from your point of view, you have events that you've got you've got the nationals here. Do you have other events as well, or just playing all the local stuff?
Yeah, well, I think they like you to go and centre events. There's probably nothing sort of... Oh, we had the North East Valley Pairs, went in that.
Oh yes, the women's pairs at North East Valley. Yes.
Yes, actually, I played with Carolyn
All right.
in that. Yeah, and probably not much else out of Central. Oh, we've got a couple of rep fixtures. We've had one in Southland, and we're going to Oamaru for the Southern Six.
Oh, that's been a traditional event, hasn't it?
Yes.
The Southern Six, isn't
Yeah,
it? Yeah.
it's the 20th of January. It's quite a lot on in January for us because we've got 5s and 7s and rep games. It's quite a busy month.
You going to New Plymouth by any chance for the National Fours, are you?
Yes.
Great.
Yep.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And who are you playing with at the Fours?
Well, we've got a para 4.
Oh, that's right. I heard that was.
Yep.
Yes, I remember someone telling me about the Para 4. Yeah, that's great,
Yeah,
isn't it?
Phil's been arranging accommodation for us all because there's 3 men para teams, and
Yes.
1 ladies para team, plus there's some mixed pairs.
So you'll be there for the whole week, literally.
Yep.
Fantastic. That's great.
Yep.
Look forward to seeing you there, and
No, we're all looking forward to it.
yeah, it'll be wonderful.
Sort of an area that we haven't been to.
Oh, you'll enjoy it. I can assure you, the hospitality you'll thoroughly enjoy it.
It does sound very good.
And lovely greens, and
Similar to this, or
yeah, well, most of them are just perhaps pretty similar conditions, except of course you are in a number of the clubs down there. You are like right on the coast, so. And then, of course, there's some you're right under the mountain as well. But
is it spread out like central?
yeah, well, it depends
Straight
on
line,
what,
Julie.
depends on how the
Very good
numbers
line.
stack up, I suppose. But well, there could be travelling as far south as Hara, which is about 45 miles out of New Plymouth one way.
Oh, that'll take a little bit.
And then if they elect to go around the coast, as they call it, to Opunaki. That's another about a 40-mile trip, I suppose, around the Cape Egmont coast, and then going north, might go as far as a place called Uranui, which is it's about 20 miles out of New Plymouth. But
I've never heard of these places.
yeah, well, they'll look after you for sure, and a lot of them, of course, like down south, are one green country clubs, and they'll look after you well. So here is Julia O'Connell endeavouring to get the shot, just obscured a bit with the snow red in there, but we'll see
Lovely bowl.
in a moment.
Great shot.
And it's a shot. And as you rightly said before, Pam, on this particular surface, this green here, you take your green, you get rewarded. You don't take your green, you don't get rewarded.
No, you get punished if
you
you don't take your green. Yeah. One hand particularly, I don't know which hand's a big hand here.
Well, now with the change of green, a change of plane up and down, we distinctly noticed, especially close to the clubhouse here, it was certainly a change on one hand to the other. The backhand was certainly, let's say, a not so kind hand as the forehand, but of course the green turned around today. So here is Snow Reardon from the Burnside Club, trailing 2-1 on his backhand, and his lead, Steve Walker, placing the foot there.
This looks good.
Looks pretty good, doesn't
Yep.
it? The weight. This looks very good. This
bowl,
bowler,
Snow.
Snow Reardon, sitting just literally jack level.
Yeah, Snow lines his chair up to bowl, if you notice, when he bowls.
So
You'll see him next time.
he literally uses his chair as his green line.
Yeah, you see where he puts his chair on the mat and uses it to help line up.
So Caroline Crawford from the Sinclair Club in Dunedin on the forehand.
See your trousers blowing a wee bit. So
Yeah, I just noticed that. You just a bit of.
this looks handy.
And this bowl's pretty much equal to the occasion too, as it comes down towards the jack. Got a touch on the jack, moved it out to the side, and Steve Walker just having a look to check on what the status is there. That was a wonderful bowl from Caroline Crawford.
A wee bit unlucky there.
And I see Steve Walker's partner wife with got a little one out here. What?
Sweet Lila.
Lila, is it?
Lila. She was born in June, I think.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Really bonny baby. She came out to dinner last night too.
Just out on the wider side was... but she is sitting right there. That's great. Camera's work there, yeah, right on.
It's Anna and Lila.
Anna and Lila.
Smile, Anna.
Watching Dad in the final.
Yeah, they're so excited about that.
So Caroline Crawford now drew a toucher with the first. It's on a pretty good line again.
Yep.
On a very good line. It's going to run all the way to that jack line. This is close to the shot itself, and it will be, no doubt about that. Two lovely bowls from Caroline Crawford. So Snow Reardon, I see what you mean now. There, Pam, got the angle of the chair.
Yep.
That helps him on his green line.
There you're right down.
Yeah, well, this delivery's exceptionally smooth, isn't it? That.
Oh, here's a good one too.
And this looks pretty handy as well. Steve Walker's watching this bowl closely as it comes towards the head. As it just sits in behind, how far is it going to run? Falls in. You saw there Julia O'Connor quickly signalling to Caroline Crawford. We've got the shot. But all very well, green bowls. Snow Red, of course, loves his trotters.
Yes, he's a racing man.
Yeah, he likes the sulky.
Yep.
So Caroline Crawford again has got the bowl out. Jack's been moved, of course, out on that wider line and got the bowl out on a good line. Needs to get in front of this front bowl. Is it going to do so? No, it doesn't.
Oh, good effort.
Indication it was the one shot. Steve just having a look to see, and just the one.
Yep.
So we're all locked up at 2 apiece after 3 of the 15 ends in this final.
Notice we've got new tops.
Yes.
Para tops.
Yes, I noticed those yesterday up in the clubhouse. I saw them all out on display, and
Phil designed them.
Oh, really?
Yep. Phil Wheeler. So everyone's very happy with them.
So Jack's delivered on this, the fourth of 15. And of course tomorrow we will have the down to the latter stages, quarterfinals, semi-finals and finals of the. So that score is in fact 3-1 to Caroline Crawford. My apologies. So tomorrow we'll have the men's pairs, women's
Looking good, Julie.
singles.
Lovely opener.
We'll be bringing you all the live action on Sky Sport next and www.stuff.co.nz, and we'll be bringing you live action from 8:30 tomorrow morning right through to the completion of the Summerset National Championships here in Christchurch, where well, I've been going to Nationals for a long, long time, and I can't remember the last time we went through a Nationals without any interruption for adverse weather, rain, whatever. So the weather's been pretty good right throughout, Pam, hasn't it?
Yes, we just had that one cold
It was cold, wasn't it?
Bit of rain, not too bad. Had a lot worse.
So just recapping from earlier on in the week, we saw Kelvin Scott of Christchurch of the Elmwood Park Club defeat Tony Grantham of Mount Albert to win the Summerset National Singles Championship. And in the pairs, we saw the Sandra Keith-Bev Morrell combination run out the winners over Claire Hendra and Taylor Bruce. And I think it was very memorable. Bev Morrell, one of our mature age players who put on an absolutely outstanding display in that final. And they were very, very worthy winners. And of course, as I say, tomorrow we will complete the Summerset National Championships with the finals of both the men's pairs and women's singles. And of course, all play here at Burnside. Please come along if you're in Christchurch area. Pop down, free admittance. Just make sure you've got your COVID vaccine pass, as it's a requirement here, as is with most sporting venues at present, and rightly so.
It's looking very good, Julie.
So providing you've got the COVID vaccine pass, plenty of parking here at Burnside. And lovely bowl coming in here from Julie O'Connell. Sits right in behind the jack. That certainly puts the pressure on Steve Walker. On the backhand. Plays out of the Moana Club in, what do you call it? Oamaru, wouldn't it?
Oamaru,
yeah.
Yeah.
Because they have that magnificent Pairs tournament there, a memorial tournament that they have there for one of the Allegiants who sadly passed away a couple of years back. So, how do you feel? You know, what's your thoughts on practicing that on these different slower pace greens? Somewhat challenging, Pam.
It is. You really have to find the right delivery. I've got 2 deliveries now, because you need a lot of backswing.
Yes, you certainly do.
Yeah.
You do, because you certainly you get penalised badly, don't you? If you can't get that weight right, you certainly it is a challenge, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really the rhythm and timing. So, yeah.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And really, if the greens are at the 12 to 13 seconds, which is what the hopes are, then it's not actually too bad. It's not as bad as previous pace greens, but you do have to make that delivery adjustment for sure.
Yeah.
So Snow Reardon trying to get down to. We'd be happy to be second shot, or he's gone past, in fact, and it would be at least two. That Caroline Crawford and Julia O'Connor holding shots. And Snow, is he one of the few wheelchair players now, is he?
We had three wheelchair playing in this tournament.
Great.
Yeah, but they've had to be careful because there's new regulations. So they've had to make sure that their wheels are fat enough for the green.
That's right. Yes. Because they can.
They can damage the green.
Yes, they can.
Especially if it's a bit wet or a bit soft.
Yes, they can. The tread, isn't it? They can. Here's really looking for the jack. Just going to the shot bowl. Just going to go by. Good attempt with some weight through the bowl. Trying to get to the jack or shot bowl.
Yeah, we've got a bowler on a little three-wheel scooter. Electric scooter.
At Omakau?
No, he played here.
Yes, I saw, yes.
Peter Whiting.
Yes, Peter Whiting from Auckland.
Yes, and he's had to watch that his wheels sort of conform to the regulations.
The real estate agent.
That's him.
Yes.
Yeah.
He used to play, the club no longer exists now in Auckland. He used to play at the Rawiti Club in Auckland. And that club now is a retirement village now.
Oh, gosh. He does really well on the little scooter. I think he's quite envious of him getting around. Goes quite fast.
I've got to try and cut it down for you.
So the number's quite significant on the head, obviously. You heard Snow Reardon say, I need to try and cut the number down for you. So he's on the saving shot on the backhand he's played. Trying to get down. Needs to get through this port, sit on something. He's not going to. How's the weight? How far is it going to run?
Oh, it's quick.
Yeah, it's going by. We'll sit outside that Caroline Crawford bowl. This could be about 4.
Looks like a few. See that wind there?
You can just hear that wind in the mics. That's 4 that's come out. And they could be calling the measure here on this. Definitely 4 have been taken out.
I'm measuring against this one.
Call it for the umpire.
Yep.
So, and shortly I'll get a sheet from the chart room, which will give us an update on the men's pairs and women's singles first round of post-section play, which have been played around the greens of Christchurch, or 4 other venues around the Christchurch area this morning. Play got underway at 8:30. So with so Julia O'Connell, she'll play, and you'd play. Well, you're not the same centre, are you?
No, we haven't really played. Oh, we actually went to the Oz Open one year and played together in the pairs. Because they have a para.
Yes, they do.
Too.
Yes,
Yeah.
they do.
But,
And of course, that's another great event which has been
mm,
COVID affected the last couple of years, isn't it?
Graham and Bruce went over last year, but it was a bit iffy because, like, I think the day after they got back, they locked down the travel.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they just got it home within hours, I think. They locked it down.
That was awesome.
I see them, they've opened the entries for this year.
Oh, it's a fantastic event.
Have a wee drink together.
Yeah, it's a great event.
We can combine it with a good holiday and
You can.
It's good that he got his wheelchair and he's looking forward to it.
Oh, he's on top
So
of the
we'll
world, isn't he?
see what that number is in but a moment. The scoreboard will change.
4.
4 it is. I just heard Carolyn Crawford. So
What was it? 4. 5.
5.
5. It's a good buffer.
That's 8-1 now after 4 of the 5. They're playing Ian 5 now. 4 gone, playing the 15, and it is 8-1 to the combination of Julia O'Connor of the Waverley Club in Invercargill and Caroline Crawford of the Sinclair Club in Dunedin, and they're playing, of course, Snow Reardon skipping the side from Burnside, and Steve Walker, the 31-year-old from Aramawa in just out of Oamaru, and pretty handy start, Pam.
Very good wee buffer there.
So Julia O'Connell now on her backhand, and Caroline will just move in a moment.
Yep,
And
nice line there.
a fairly good opening bowl there. Just goes by the head, but coming back towards the centre line. And it was great yesterday here as well to see our blind players all in action as well. And
Yes.
some great stories amongst some of those players, and they certainly there were some great bowls played yesterday, and they thoroughly enjoyed their part of the Summerset Nationals as well.
They're a great bunch of people. They're blind one. They have their directors as well, so it kind of doubles their numbers.
Yes, they do,
Yeah.
and they do a sterling job. The directors, they do a wonderful job. Just coming round her own bowl is
Try.
Julia O'Connell. Just go by Steve Walker now. Imperative that the composite combination on the backhand is Steve Walker. Looks on a fairly good line. Just going to see how far it moves away at the finish.
Oh, bad luck here, Steve.
Oh, he got the
Ah.
jack clean. That was, and just in doing so, just trailed the jack back to where the two bowls of
Round the
Julie
back here,
O'Connell's were sitting. But unfortunate there was Steve.
Yep.
Yeah. Just one of those ways, isn't it?
That happened yesterday, actually, in the pair in there when they were playing Bruce and Graham. The jack moved back.
So Julie O'Connell going to add to the head here, sit on the bowls. This is a good bowl. Oh, no, went right through.
Nice draw, Stevie.
And he heard Snow Reardon saying to Steve Walker, just draw down here, which he will do on his backhand after unfortunately got that trail of the jack. And just going to depend on line's pretty good. How's the weight?
Good one,
This looks
Steve.
good.
Stevie,
This
you're
looks
not going to
good.
want this one back.
This looks pretty good.
There for Stevie. Good boy.
Oh, well
Oh,
played.
Well
And the
done,
back
Steve.
toucher. But very unfortunate with the second bowl, but he certainly redeemed with that last one. And that was well played by Stevie Walker. And that's a shot bowl toucher.
That's what I said to you last night, Pat.
Hello, to that. What happened last night?
Oh, right, here's some gossip here.
Yeah. It's a bit of cloud here now at Burnside, but still certainly no rain around, that's for sure. So we'll get through this important day of post-section play. With no interruptions, of course, and then into the finals day tomorrow. So here is Caroline Crawford, one down on the head, leading 8 shots to 1 on the forehand, trying to reach up, play, which you can play through there with confidence, Pam, can't you? With,
yes, definitely.
Where that shot bowl's sitting, just going to duck away. May get a slide here, got a feather, but didn't do any damage or didn't get to the target she wanted, but certainly just that's the sort of weight to play to either get to the shot bowl or the jack. And here is now
Something about Pat.
Snow Reardon, and it's, as said by Pam, you can see the wheelchair, the chair out on that angle, which assists and gives him the right green line. And he'll be quite happy to come in behind the head. Yep, well, Snow Reardon, because any movement of the jack, because Caroline Crawford will certainly be looking to reach the jack or shot bowl.
Yes, she wasn't far off the first one.
Very close. Can afford herself another yard of weight. And talking about the scooter man.
There he is.
There he is, just goes by at the back of the green there.
Speedy Gonzalez.
This is on a good track, this bowler, Caroline Crawford. But just died more than likely again. Pam could have had perhaps another yard of weight to reach through the bowl.
Yeah, it's quite hard. She's got to find that line just
yes, that's
right.
right. It's got to have a bit of,
because
it's got to have a bit of pace to be able to hold up under that line. As Snow Reardon now holding shot, trailing 8 shots to 1 as we play in 5 of 15.
A wee bit less green on this one.
Comes past the bowl.
This looks very handy.
It does. Draws right to the 2 metre mark, literally sitting right on the tee. So Caroline wouldn't want the jack to spill out in that direction, because there's a couple of cover bowls there from the Reardon-Walker combination. So here is Caroline Crawford on the mat, her last bowl on this, the 15.
She's got to sneak under that.
It's got to be underneath it, or be on the outside of it. In fact, just got the Snow Reardon second bowl.
Hey, Stevie, do you want me to sit Julie's bowl?
So there's the call to try and play under the head slightly and sit the bowl. 3 shots sitting there.
Yeah.
So Snow Reardon will more than likely have that yard of weight, hopefully to play under the line. Well, he certainly brought that line in to get to that bowl, the blue bowl in the middle, and it's in the target area, but just under green slightly. Take the 1 though. It's 5 ends gone, and 8-2 now after 5 of 15
hey, Stevie,
ends.
make a full length.
So you heard Snow Reardon saying then in the mic, make it full length.
It's been quite nice the way the program's worked with the 3 finals days.
Certainly
with
is.
The blind, the para, and the open tomorrow.
Well, it's been changed around how they've formatted it because of recent years, of course, we've had players who have then been tied up in both events.
Exactly.
And you get a bit of a tangle, at their back end where players have to hang around to wait for, wait till.
Yep. No, I think it's worked well.
It has worked well.
Oh, Steve.
And it gives people opportunity to go and watch, a couple of different finals.
So just a couple of quick results I've got here I can give you in the women's singles. Angie Francis of North East Valley in Dunedin defeated Janine Young of Royal Oak in Auckland by 21 shots to 13. Jenny Anderson of Wood End defeated Kenny Critchlow of 9 Bowling Club by 21 to 19. Reen Ballas were up against the defending champion that of Nicole Toomey, and it was Nicole Toomey who ran out the winner by 21 shots to 9. And Taylor Bruce up against Jenny Stockford, and it was Taylor Bruce, the current New Zealand player, who won that match by 21 shots to 7. Barbara Walker of Fairfield won her game 21-19 over Janice Harper. Barbara McGregor of Nelson was a 21-13 winner over Diane Strawbridge. Selena Goddard in a pretty tight match, the two New Zealand squad members with Lisa Prideaux, and it was Goddard who ran out the winner by 21 shots to 16. And Linda Rolfe of the Carlton Cornwall Club in Auckland defeated Robin Rintel of Wellington by 21 shots to 9. Now, as more results come through, I'll endeavour to keep you updated throughout, and I'll have a look shortly at the men's pairs and pick up some results from there, which I'll just give you some updates. So there was a quick update from so far after some of the games, of course not all of the games, but just some of the games that I've got results for in front of me of the women's singles post-section play. A good bowl break.
Your green here, Joe.
Just slightly missing under. Certainly was on line to the jack, that bowl of Julio of Steve Walker's. Just missed his weight by about a metre, and you would have heard then from Caroline Crawford to draw underneath there, but well under it with weight. So I'll change over on this the sixth end with the combination of Julia O'Connell and Caroline Crawford leading by 8 shots to 2 over Steve Walker and Snow Reardon in this final. And I'll see if I can find a few of those pairs results, men's pairs, and to see if any upsets that may well have come through. I could tell that Craig Murray's of Southland defeated Mike Bradshaw and David Moto of Auckland 18 shots to 12. Kelvin Scott, the singles winner, of course, he defeated Morris Symes by 20 shots to 13. And another one of the surprises, well, not surprises, always going to be a tough encounter, that is Sean Scott and Sean O'Neill up against Martin Dixon and the New Zealand singles winner of last year, Mike Galloway, and it was the Scott-O'Neill combination ran out the winners by 17 shots to 8, as we see Snow Reardon trying to get down to the head, just still a metre short on the line. Pat Houlihan of the Clyde Bowling Club, he defeated the Jury Hill combination, the Phil Corning combination by 20 shots to 12. And Tiroi Taurawa and Phil Taylor of Bridge Park in Auckland were winners by 17 shots to 8. And as more results come in, I will endeavour to update those for you. But back to this pairs final, 8-2 to Caroline Crawford and Julia O'Connell. Certainly on a wider track, this bowl, Pam, isn't it?
It is.
Needs to get
in now.
needs to get clean under the head and just was underneath.
Just got that bowl.
So Snow Reardon will try and follow down through that port. See the chair angled out on that where Snow wants to have his green. On the forehand is Snow Reardon, playing the 6th of 15 ends. And he's also out on that wider line, Pam, isn't he, that where...
Yeah, it has to break about now to come...
Needs to get...
Yeah,
hasn't got the weight, has it, though, to get right through that port. There's the shot position is through that port, isn't it? So
We're just one down, aren't we now?
So one down. So it is the combination of Snow Reardon and Steve Walker holding the shot. So we'll see Caroline Crawford now on her backhand. There's quite a bit of room there, isn't there, Pam?
There is. You just got to get that green right.
Yeah, to find that port's
the
a
weight.
challenge,
Oh,
isn't
I
it?
dropped it.
And you might have heard Caroline Crawford saying through her mic that she dropped it, which is in every indication on that premise that it will be short. And there's a chance now for...
Hey, Stevie, can you give me your foot out there?
Almost looks like 2 shots to the end, doesn't it?
yeah, could well be. They're saying that the Caroline Crawford first bowl is actually second shot. So Snow Red and asking Steve Walker to move out to the side of it to give him a sighter to get that line down
I still
through.
didn't get it away very good.
He didn't get it away very good.
Just get that weight.
Yeah, well, it's a hard shot really with those bowls and lower the jack, isn't it? Where you know you can't come around them. Your scoring position is down through underneath them, but because you've got to have that weight to hold up under that narrower line. So on the backhand now is Caroline Crawford, winner of the New Zealand Pairs at Tyree. We defeated Joe Edwards and Val Smith. And I don't think this is going to hold up enough either, Pam.
No.
Way rough.
We were looking for a generous slide off the bowl, was not. So further one to the Steve Walker
No, it is only 1.
combination. 8-3 now after 6 of the 15 ends.
That longer end made it a big bit of difference.
It did. There was a change of length, wasn't there? So going back to the Bowls 3-5, you enjoyed that experience.
Oh yes, it was fabulous.
And yeah, well, so you how many players? You have about 5 or 6 players in the squad, was it? You changed them around every couple.
I think it was 5.
Right.
Carolyn had a go, Linda had a go, I had a go, and I think yeah, probably 6, 3 men, 3 women.
And Bruce and
mostly Bruce and Mark.
and Mark Noble, wasn't
yeah,
it?
Yeah.
Yes, it's a great concept, isn't it?
It's very exciting because it's all over so fast.
Very quick, isn't it?
The music's loud and it's just all go.
Yes, well, of course, hopefully things are behind us and we can start resuming back to some normality of a number of sporting events, or all sorts of events, music events, all sorts of things that have been through this COVID process. I don't know how many times we've been booked to go to Australia for the Trans-Tasman. I think it's and had a further.
Our team was meant to be named by now, but they had to put it off.
Yes, it's very it's challenging for the players.
Yeah, good bowl.
And good bowl here from Julia O'Connell, just going by the jack, right on the centre line by about a metre. Yeah, it's hard for the selectors, hard for the players to try and you say how do you judge form and what form and where is the form? It does create challenges, that's for sure. On the back end now is the 31-year-old. And he's on
quite a good line.
He's on a good line with this bowl.
Yeah.
And it's going to sit on the bowl, but certainly had the good line to the jack for sure. On this, the 7th end of 15. So you farm at Omaka? What do you do at Omaka?
We've got a B&B.
Oh, really?
On the rail trail. We're on the rail trail.
Oh, well, it's so popular, of course, down through there, isn't it?
Well, it's been very quiet this season.
Yes, I can imagine,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah.
Yes, but we're getting a few bookings for February, March, starting to come in.
And hopefully not too many months until we start getting a trickle of international people coming our way.
Definitely.
And I'm sure Steve Walker had a great track here. He was right on line to the jack, just That yard of weight was just not quite there. Yes, I no doubt, Pam, that area, of course, well, we thoroughly enjoyed it. We went down there for the fours and mixed pairs last year. You know, it was, all those little, I had the pleasure of staying at Clyde.
Oh, Clyde's a lovely town.
We actually stayed in what was the little original stone cottage of the
nice bar.
well played here from Julie O'Connell, just sitting lower the jack. Yeah, we actually stayed in the cottage, which was the maternity nurse, because the old maternity hospital, in fact, is still there. And and it was fantastic. And to go out to all those little country clubs that we went to, Patiora and all those places, all of them, so welcoming all the people in Central. So it was, it was a great experience. And Taranaki will be the same.
Yeah, did you go to Wipeout?
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's lovely.
Yes, we did go there. Well, there was no doubt, really, the introduction of the mixed pairs. Big pat on the back to Bowls New Zealand to introduce the mixed pairs event, because it certainly did then take us to a number of venues that one wouldn't have outside, would say the Alexandra and Clyde area, and it got us around the...
Exactly, yeah, because you needed a few more greens for the...
Yeah, well, the entry was outstanding, though.
So how popular mixed pairs is.
Well, it is, and it was an unknown, of course, of what was going to happen, what numbers were going to be. And I just urge those people in Taranaki and the surrounding areas, Wanganui and other areas close by, get a team in for the Summerset National. If you're not going to play in the fours, come and play in the mixed pairs, and you'll thoroughly enjoy 2 days of section play and 4 out of 6 to qualify. It was last year, it was just the 1 day of qualifying.
Yeah, I was trying to remember was it only 1 day?
It was only 1 day last year,
okay.
yes, yeah, and it was the 4 games in the 1 day, which
it's a bit taxing, isn't it?
It was a bit taxing,
especially
yeah.
if it's hot.
Yeah, it was. I can't guarantee it's going to be hot in Taranaki, but
Don't go under.
you hear Snow Red saying don't go under, but it is just going to slip under. It's hard to get that line to the jack there, isn't it, Pam, because of the front black bowl in front. The bowler Caroline Crawford does make that line very, very tight down through there to get to the jack.
And it gets in your eye a bit.
Well, you wonder whether you need to go to possibly a wee bit quicker to hold yourself and that weight in line up through there.
Well, it's either that or a wee bit more to go around.
That's right. We'll see this bowl of Caroline Crawford's, whether that's
good.
on a line to come around the front bowl to the jack, isn't it? And just not quite going to sit on that bowl, but it did highlight you can, as you rightly said, you can get that draw around that front black bowl, can't you, down to the jack. And
holding a few there.
so 2 or 3 there at least. So Snow Red, and more than likely the call looked to be from Steve Walker. If we can get second shot, and he's certainly on that wider line.
Better line.
That's what.
Quick.
He thinks it's
Too quick's at the call from. Oh, he's only a bowl away, isn't he, from really sitting on that bowl?
Yeah, lovely line.
Yeah, superb line. Only to sit on the blue bowl.
Oh, Carolyn's still got another one.
Yes, Karen's got another bowl to come. Leading 8-3 is Caroline Crawford and Julie O'Connell. And I've got with me Pam Walker, who was defeated yesterday, but is in the pairs. But of course is one of those 3 players who are in line. Here's a good bowl here from Caroline Crawford. This gets past the... Well played, in fact, a toucher. That was superbly played by the Sinclair player.
Did we?
4 there anyway.
I'd say there's 4. Well, it could be more actually.
Oh,
yeah, because this back bowl here could also be in the count. Yeah, as Julia O'Connell just pointed to it, and it is. That was well played by, but was a winning, well, I'm not going to say a winning bowl, but it was certainly, it was a bit of a game breaker, that touch on the jack, wasn't it? Well played from Carolyn Crawford.
Yes, she played it perfectly.
Well, the second bowl, she came around there as well. She just had a, possibly just had that, well, her bowl actually counted that second bowl after the trail of the jack. So she wasn't really that far away, was she?
No.
There, 13-3, you see the scoreboard just been changed, 13-3 after 7 to the combination of Julie O'Connell of the Waverley Club. Is it a one green club down there? Is it?
They've got an indoor and an outdoor. They
That's
play
where the indoor is down there.
PBA.
It is too,
Yeah.
yes, that's right. In fact, there was New Zealand champion peers were played down there last year.
Were they?
I'm sure they were played.
That was in Dunedin.
Oh, was it Dunedin? That's my
no,
apologies.
I think
At
it
the
was
stadium.
Dunedin, yeah.
Won by...
I like your line there, Jill.
That's right.
No, it's good line. Just you wait.
So they've got one outdoor and one indoor, is that?
Yes. We are, we've got it booked for our para
It's not on your
nationals
line.
there next year
Right. Oh,
in Invercargill.
so even though we've got these nationals, you still have your para-nationals as well?
We do, though we haven't been able to hold them for the last 2 years
Right.
because of
Me.
COVID. It was meant to be in Wanganui this year.
I think he's using
All the
marker off
arrangements
the
were in
piece.
place, everything.
Oh,
We had to pull the pin about a month beforehand.
and what sort of entry do you get for
Big.
really?
We had 46 entries.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, you know, one of the really mission statements, it's not a nice phrase,
I like
mission
the colour of
statements
those
really,
bowls.
but
No, I know
But
that.
you know, one of
Colour.
the themes of Bowls New Zealand is highlighting that you know, bowls is a sport for all, and it certainly is, isn't it, Pam?
It definitely is.
There's no, you know, there's no distinction of age, anything, size. You know, it caters for all,
It certainly does.
and of course we're also getting
Better start drawing.
as well a very broad ethnic diversity as well now within the sport, especially of course with our Maori players and the Polynesian players as well. It's pretty diverse.
It is. Yeah, there's
So quick if you
a bit of everything. That sounds like, doesn't sound that good, but
Where's the
someone
bowl?
from
Needing the jack
Walks
here
away.
on the pace through instead. Well, of course we've seen now that jack length right back to the 2 metre mark, so it's different to where they've been, and very easy just to put on a wee bit more weight. So Julia O'Connell, her ball went as well into the ditch, so just be endeavouring to adjust that weight, because certainly looks as though it's on the narrow line though. It'll cut away now. You've really got to be right out towards the cameras out there, don't you, on that hand.
Definitely. It's wide open at the moment.
Certainly is. It's a clothesline, isn't it?
Snow could wheel through there, all right.
He could, absolutely, he could do Walshy Matildas through that. So on the forehand is Steve Walker. Well, out of the hand, it's on a better, it's on that wider line.
Might be a bit wide, is it?
Yeah, well, it's just, you would think, well, it was coming back, but it wouldn't have come back far enough to kind of finish slightly jack low, but it's certainly a lot wider out there, and there is plenty of room to draw the shot, that's for sure.
It's a bit tricky, isn't it?
You heard then, bit tricky. Yeah, these are the heads that you can sort of, it looks so easy, doesn't it, to draw in there, but sometimes these are the heads whereby you can get a bit of trouble as well, because
Yep, you don't know if you clip the jack or something.
so here is the skip, Caroline Crawford, was former New Zealand Peers title holder, playing with Anne Muir, who then became the president of Bowls New Zealand, and Anne is a player who in years gone by had a huge amount to do with the. There's the shot from.
Yes.
That's definitely the shot. Yes, Anne Muir was very, very involved with the blind and para movement up there in the north. So Snow Reardon certainly got his bowl. Now it should start to hook that weight. Was it too much weight? It is. Too much weight to get the shot, but it's certainly the right line, right back to that 2 metre mark. That's where you needed to be.
Yes. Take a wee bit off next time.
And your green at Omacat, just one green club, 2 green club?
One green. It's
Right.
It's the
Many a Toto?
smallest. Yes, smallest allowable size.
Oh,
it's
is it?
quite small. When you go into Alex, it seems so big. These greens seem so big.
Well, you come up north and go to Hinuera.
How big's that?
Oh, it's huge. It's an oasis. It's said that Hinuera is the biggest green in New Zealand.
Gosh.
And one year, I can't remember what year it was, but we used Hinuera. It was used. There's a better bowl here from Snow. There's going to be the shot for sure. Well played on this full length head, just sitting centimetres from the jack. At one of the World Bowls preparations, Hinuera was used very, very much as a training facility because of the size of the green. It's well known as the.
What's the biggest screen you're allowed?
Well, whatever it is, Hinuera's got the biggest. You need binoculars to see the other end. And it was Debbie White who this is a great attempt here. This is a fantastic attempt here from Caroline Crawford. It fell back, but is it shot?
Looks like it.
Oh, well, it's always difficult to tell. Magnificent reply there from the Sinclair player. After we saw Snow Reardon draw a really good shot close to the jack, and he's pretty well down again. Just going to go by the jack. So we'll see what's decided. And it was the shot bowl, that bowl from Caroline Crawford. That was very, very well played. So a lot of the clubs, of course, down there are, one green clubs, of course, aren't they?
Clyde's got 2 greens.
Yes, Clyde, very nice here. Clyde went there last year.
Were they using 2 greens then?
No, they were just using the one.
We're back to 2 now. And Alexandra has 2, and Queenstown has 2.
So,
and Roxburgh has 2 as well.
In regards to the para movement, there's not lots of people. As we talk about the sport for all, how do people, get into that? Well, not get in, but say we've got some form of disability and ability. What's the steps? What do they do if they want to give it a go?
Right. Well, they need to. We usually recommend them joining up.
Yes.
I send them a membership form plus a classification form, because you do need a classification to be part of the organisation.
And who judges that, or what's the
We have a classifier, Vicky Melville, who lives in Nelson.
Right.
She's the only one in New Zealand. She's actually an international classifier. And initially, it's hard. She has to meet the person face to face, and she does the measurements. A lot of it's based on balance.
Yes.
It's a point system. You've got to get so many points to. And there's 3 classifications: B6, B7, and B8.
So international event. Well played here from
Lovely bowl.
Julie O'Connor. So, but in New Zealand, of course, you all play as one, don't you? Like,
We do.
Yeah, so
we
there's
don't
no...
use the classification.
The Australians do, don't they?
No, not in the Australian Open.
Right, it's one complete
Yes.
section, isn't it?
But with the Commonwealth Games, there is a point system.
Oh,
All right.
Great bowl,
And
Steve. Great
Well
bowl.
played here from Steve Walker, just drawing jack level. So there's an assessment, international assessment, or what?
well, there's that as well. You have to be internationally assessed to play in an international event. So if you don't have one before the going to the Commonwealth, you'll have to be, and that's carried out by 3 classifiers. So you have to be under some from 3 classifiers.
So here in New Zealand, and let's say in our case, how would we get 3 people doing the class? Who does that?
Stevie?
Well, we don't.
Great, but just goes by the
good bowl
jack.
though. Very good.
The last time that we
Do it
had
again,
the
son.
Worlds, they brought in 2 from Australia and our New Zealand one, and did the international classification.
Right,
You don't get
okay.
it very often.
Yeah, I love your track.
Only really if you were going over to play in the Trans-Tasman, you'd have to be internationally classified to play in that.
And because most of the clubs around New Zealand now, well, we look at Snow Red there in the wheelchair. You know, most of the clubs now provide a facility whereby,
Far away from
you know,
here.
with accessibility, it's all, you know,
Yeah, no,
it's
very
all.
good.
Yes, most clubs. Some are still lacking in facilities for disabled people, but it's getting better. And there's a lot of funding available for ramps and toilet facilities too. So that clubs
And are
can
they
apply for.
through like Sport New Zealand or lottery grants or funding or
There's a lot of
poker machine funds or?
yes, well, like pub charities.
Oh,
they
yes,
do
yes.
A lot of funding. Like our tops we're lucky to get funding for our uniform tops from Polaris Trust.
Oh yes, yes.
Like who else? 4 Winds.
4 Winds is they're very
Yes.
involved in a lot of sports.
Yeah.
4 Winds are yes.
Yeah, no, they've been very good to our organisation. Even like helping out with accommodation when we have our nationals.
So for people out there who may be watching, who have got family, friends, whomever they may be,
Mhm.
you rock up to a bowling club, and you may have some form of disability. You're going to be encouraged, not discouraged, aren't you?
Yes, definitely. The thing is,
Great bowl here. Here's a
Oh,
cap
nice.
raiser.
lovely
Front
bowl.
toucher from the Snow Red, which sits right on top of the jack. Well played from the
Lovely bowl.
Burnside skip. So they make it's get along to
Yeah.
a club.
Yes, you need to belong to a club to belong to our organisation. But
What
really,
about in the likes of, let's say, in likes of schools, because secondary schools and those sorts of things, whereby there are students there who can't partake in mainstream sports through various, they might.
yeah, that's starting to happen.
It is starting to happen.
Yes,
Great.
yeah, definitely.
Oh, wobble.
So Karen Crawford trying to search down for the
Wobbles, hold it out.
Snow Red and bowl after he drew that magnificent front toucher, trailing by 14 shots to 3. But as we play in 9 of 15 in this final of the Summerset Paras here at the Bowls New Zealand National Championships. And just how far is this one? Needs to get past his front bowl, sit inside here. Will it get all the way? Tips in. That's
Oh.
well played.
Lovely bowl.
That's well played by Snow Reardon, the skip, the Burnside skip. They're really good bowls.
I was just getting into
So you are getting younger people coming into the mix now.
Yes, we've had a few new members this year, probably 3 or 4. It's a lot of people say they don't know how to get hold of us.
Yes.
We try to put up notices in the bowling clubs and in the handbox, because I'm usually the first point of touch, because being the secretary, they
Yes.
usually phone me or email me, and once that happens, you know, we can set it in place. But just that initial contact is sometimes a little
One
bit
down. Could be three, could be
hard.
one. I'm
Well,
just going to try and draw it.
for some people, of course, it's also a bit. Well, I'm not saying they just sort of not. They haven't got
Yes,
the confidence, have
you're
they?
right, you're
yeah,
right.
Yeah, that's the
Making that first step to sort of say that
that's
you
the
have-
biggest step.
Yes,
Yeah.
and every one of us, we talk about it, goes through it to become part of our organisation.
Yeah.
Then when they
Line your
come
foot up where the line of
along,
the shot
they
is.
say, "Oh, it's like a big family."
Yeah,
Yeah.
line
Because
of
they
the
all
kitty.
feel so welcome. And
So it's a matter of walking in the door
It's under
first,
that
isn't
bowl,
it?
yes,
is
it is.
Yeah,
It's a bit nerve-wracking.
yeah, and I can fully understand,
it is? Is
fully
that the
understand that as what you've
Yeah,
just
you line
said.
your foot with it.
Well, you're basically saying, you know, I have a disability, and you don't really have to say that until
No.
that point.
No,
Yeah, yeah. So it's
but then once it's been said once
Hmm.
and sort of like accepted to where it's at, well then it becomes easier after that.
yes, it does. They say, "Oh, I wish we'd joined years ago." Or,
Yeah, it's so yeah. Well, it's great to hear that. And what convinced you to? Or here, look at this attempt from.
Come in.
Look at this attempt from Caroline Crawford.
Oh, Carolyn, what a bowl!
If it fell the other way, it could well have made shot. There's an outstanding bowl. Well, really, with the way how the scoreboard's
Might have it was one in a good
placed,
measure
Pam, it
first,
might be.
Could have been three.
Got to have a
or
look
one.
at playing that bowl through the head.
It almost it
Yeah.
isn't shot, is it?
Yeah,
Well, I'm
let's
just
have a
trying to
look.
get that angle alternative. And if it's no reason, it would only be one anyway.
Measure for 2, 3.
So how long? So what made you? What was
I
your
would
catalyst?
say
What was your
it's
encouragement to
Definitely
say, right, I'm going to
now.
go and play
It
bowls?
might be the shot.
Power bowls, you mean?
Yes.
There was a lady in Dunedin, Gloria Shine. I don't know if you know her.
Yes, I do. Yes.
She said to me, "Pam, I think you should go to the
That might be
disabled
good,
bowls."
thanks,
What?
No,
You
hurry,
know,
hurry.
I said, "I don't mean to be awful," she said.
Just one and see where this is going
And
to
I thought about it probably for a good year,
Right.
and then I went out of my comfort zone
Beautiful
and
drawing grade.
put my hand up. And I think I went up
Quite
to
hard, yeah. I think
the
everyone's
Trust
gonna play a real
Open.
right,
Oh no,
straight
I think we went to the Trust Open, which had a para section.
Yes, they used to. Correct.
And the Nationals, which were
So
in
you just
Christchurch.
up here on holiday pad, or you? Yeah.
And it was amazing.
So
It's
that was
like
it.
a world sort of opens up to you, you know, with all these new people and make you feel very welcome. And
So
so I thanked Gloria for that, because I probably wouldn't have done it.
so really, it's about don't sit at home and think about it.
Yep,
Just take
do it.
the biggest step, the first step.
Yep, definitely.
So here is Snow Reardon, who played a fantastic bowl, but equal to the occasion was
Still love it.
Caroline Crawford, and it's out on that wider arc. How far is it going to come back? Needs to come into this port by an attempt, but just going to sit outside the line. But another fantastic attempt.
No, or what?
Yeah.
Who's got it?
So we'll quickly know. Steve Walker certainly thinks he's got the shot. And did I hear 2 down? Just the one. The marker, I see the lollipop.
Oh yeah, the lollipop's
The
one.
jack about that much for 4.
So you may have heard Snow Reardon saying there could have trailed the jack just around the corner, could have made 4 of it. Of course, you know, to get back into the game, those are the sorts of ends you need to get that number, don't you?
That's right. Yeah. They're off 3 though. They're on 3 for a bit.
They were off on 3 for a while. Well, yeah. Well, it's been 4 singles actually that they've. So that's full marks. Well, that bowler Caroline Crawford's, they had the head looking pretty good, didn't they? Snow Reardon, and
This is the end here.
yeah, that 5 for sure. Yeah, it was a big. It's a big number. And of course, I must say thank you, of course, to our team, Tamara, Colin, and Alex, who are the people that put this fantastic production together. They're here early in the morning, late in the afternoon. They're around. You see all the cabling there? How many 100 feet do you think of cabling there is that they? It's a massive job what they do, putting all this production together.
Get that.
It's it's like a mini Sky studio, and thanks to Tamara, Colin,
you were
and
playing-
Alex, who certainly make sure that
10th, aren't we?
you
No,
people
10th.
sitting at home get, well, as you can see there, Pam, from the monitor you're looking at, it's as good as what you'd see from any TV production.
Yeah, it's brilliant. I'm sure a lot of people are enjoying this.
Well, we know, you know, it's great now with the
Yeah,
new
very
advent of technology of what we're able to do and to get this out to the to people, and of course then they can go anytime they wish and have a look at it themselves. It's all there on the Sky, on their YouTube channel on Sky Sport Next, www.stuff.co.nz, and of course throughout the Bowls New Zealand website there's was links whereby you can go to and
another Wembley's are
watch
out.
games of the past.
Probably just cheating a wee bit on the grass,
And
Stevie.
of course, what we are going to see, I don't know the whole gist of it yet, but
Wait, it's perfect.
there's going to be shortly on the Bowls New Zealand website, and SENS, that's the Australian radio station, who was just recent sports station, recently launched in New Zealand, where there'll be a podcast effect and post-production of
Very good.
all of the major Bowls events, of which Tamara, Alex and Colin are
Bowls
putting
Steve.
together.
Extremely good, Stevie.
Great bowl there, and you'll be able to watch that every week, and there'll be more information coming from Bowls New Zealand
Right, there's
about
mine.
that event, about that weekly viewing that you'll be able to hop on and have a look. So we'll be picking up all matters bowls, and there's Aaron White, who's involved with that, a trotting commentator or a bowler at the Point Chevrolet Club in
You're
Auckland,
playing that good, Stevie.
Selena
You'll just
Selena
slide over
Goddard,
here.
and
Your
Alex
last
from
line
Bowls
was
New Zealand,
perfect.
and they'll be at the front people for this regular podcast, and of course Tamara and Colin and the others all putting it together, and they'll be getting comments and commentary and that from other people as well. So there'll be plenty of bowls for people to get a weekly fix, I suppose you
Yes.
call
Good
it.
second shot.
And a
great
lot of
there.
people do watch
She's a counter,
the
mate.
bowls on the screen at night, you know.
I'd be amazed the amount of feedback that I get from people, not just in New Zealand, but from around the globe who watch at
Oh, I
all
like
sorts
the green
of,
this time.
all sorts of hours. So, the work that Bowls New Zealand have done, I think Tamara was
I
saying
like this.
earlier. Yeah, great bowl here. Just
Good bowl.
sits and rolls on top of the jack. And that's the shot. Sits the bowl out. So Tamara and I did the Nationals in Dunedin at headquarters at Tyree. And we had some
Bowl
cords, a box things, a couple of microphones, and one and a phone.
Oh, is that all?
That was it. And Tamara put it all together, and we did everything on Facebook, and we did the Bowls New Zealand Nationals from Tyree, and it's grown from that to what we've got here now, which is literally
Amazing.
a mobile TV studio, really.
You wouldn't want it to grow much more.
Well, in fact, we finished from here, and next week, Tamara and myself will be here at Burnside for the Burnside Piers.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
We're covering that, and then the following week we go to New Plymouth, where we'll be covering the Taranaki Open Men's Fours, the latter stages of that, and also great bowl here from Reardon, sits jack level. And also they'll be covering the Taranaki Women's Open Fours, and the Maori Bowls are also another event which is going to be covered. Then we'll be down in New Plymouth again for the fours, Summerset fours, and mixed pairs. And
Gosh,
then of
sounds
course
very busy.
inter-club finals and inter-centre as well.
That's very busy.
So great attempt here from Caroline Crawford again. Is it going to sit on the bowl?
Yep.
Yes, it is. Sits right underneath it. Well played by. Played some Played some big bowls. Caroline, hasn't she,
Yes.
on the draw, Pam?
Yeah, she's a beautiful draw bowler.
Been very consistent.
Yeah. Taranaki's going to be busy too.
Yes, it will be.
There's events on.
I think the Taranaki men's fours, which gets underway Monday week. I think this year, Grant Hassel will correct me on this, so I've got to be careful. I think it's around the 118th year
Is it?
of the
Goodness.
Taranaki Open fours.
Gosh, that's a good record.
I think it's around that. I played the Centennial. I know that. I can remember that.
Gosh, it's quite unusual for something to last that long.
It's iconic.
Get a
Yeah, I
bit
think
more
a few
serious, Steve.
people from Central go
Get a
up to
bit more
play.
serious. Push the
Yes, well, they travel for a while. They travel from around the country. It's certainly, it's a great event. A number used to come from the Sunshine Coast.
Oh gosh, do they just take as many entries as?
They'll take
gonna hang there.
as many as they can.
Mm.
So there's
one have we got?
yes, it's the there we go. It's the 117th Taranaki Men's Open Fours.
Gosh, and it's the women's a newer event, or?
The women's has been going for a number of years, but doesn't have the same number. It's not at that level. So, and then it's only a month after that. Of course, in Taranaki will be the national fours.
Mm-hmm.
So again, Caroline Crawford hasn't quite got the weight this time, but
She got the one that
got
counted.
the one that counted, correct, Pam, and drew the shot. So now come to the 11th end of 15. Bruce Wakefield sitting there, the silver medalist in the men's singles, where he came up against Graham Scullen of North Harbour, and Graham Scullen came out the successful winner on the day. Played very, very well, did Scullen. So 15 ends is final. And remembering, of course, also going on around the greens is that of the post-section play of the men's pairs and the women's singles. And we'll be down to the last few tonight. And all of those...
Right.
And, of course, all of those results, just go to the Bowls New Zealand website, www.bowlsnz.co.nz, and all the results from that first morning round, they'll be up on the website. And play will continue 3 rounds today around the five venues of Christchurch.
Nice line.
So we're playing 11 of 15 and 14-4 to the combination of Caroline Crawford and Julie O'Connell. So you can get off from the B&B okay to play your bowls all right, can you?
Yes, we're quite lucky in some way because we can block it off. We did have someone coming in yesterday, but our neighbour was looking after them.
That's good.
But if you know ahead, you can block off a couple of days. It's the beauty of having your own business.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
So at bowler Steve Walker, just you'll see a couple of metres lower the jack, and Julie O'Connell from the Waverley Club in Invercargill been pretty consistent in this final on the backhand, and will endeavour to get just past this bowl. Going to do so. Just needs to
Lovely bowl.
just always
Take
look
a
good
shot.
on the arc. That bowl just got around that
Very
front
nice.
bowl
You'll do it, Stevie. You can
and
draw it.
draws
You know.
just alongside the jack. It's a perfect And the good thing about these greens as well, Pam, you get rewarded for taking your green, don't you?
You do, and if you got the weight, it'll come right back.
It will come back to the
Yeah.
centre, won't it? Absolutely it will. And this bowler, Steve Walker's just questioning that line, whether it's going to get the line underneath to the jack or under it. Got a touch on the jack on the way through, and just unfortunately just sat in behind the bowl of Julie O'Connell's.
Jules, you're coming right round there. You're coming the same sort of shot, but even coming on the other side of the kitty.
So you heard there from
You're sort of playing the same shot.
Carolyn Crawford, and we saw from that last bowl, Pam, that you draw around there. There's plenty, as we saw Julie O'Connell do, just highlights that you've got a good green, isn't it?
Yep, this is good.
And yeah, this is another lovely bowl coming in from Julie O'Connell down towards the jack. Well played. This is magnificently played.
Steve, like last time, just draw through it.
Lovely bowl.
And you heard there from Snow Reardon to his instruction to Steve Walker.
Yeah, just draw through
On
it
the
like
back
you did a
end,
couple of
draw
years
through
ago.
the bowls. If you get the jack, it's a bonus, but just try and draw through the bowls, which is what he'll endeavour to do on the back end.
Might be a bit tight, Stevie.
I think he's too tight on the line, but you can see the shot there that's there to be played. Might get a feather, but won't be generous enough to run towards the jack. So there's two at the moment, two, or it could be three, but
Lovely
definitely
bowls.
two to the combination of Julie O'Connell
Beautiful
and
bowls. No,
Caroline Crawford. So obviously you've played a bit with Julie,
Yes, not a lot, but a bit. Yeah.
and you played with Carolyn as well.
Yes.
You played with everybody.
Yeah. Well, we have our Bowls 3-5 tournament at Omakau every Labour weekend,
All right.
and Julie comes up and plays with the Southland team. And Carolyn and I have played together in that with Graham. Actually, we won it the year before last,
Right.
and it's a great tournament.
But yeah, a lot of enjoyment, no doubt.
It's sort of early in the season, and it's we have some people from Dunedin.
So you'll see now without any Snow Reardon will certainly be endeavouring
Yeah.
to get down.
He's good.
He's going to be playing through that port to get to the jack for sure. On the back end is the Burnside player. See a grimace on the face at the point of delivery. Not sure where he thinks he's got the right line weight. We'll see in but a moment. Well, I suppose the good thing about that bowl is really, Pam, is it really tightens that line with weight through the jack, doesn't it? You know, if you're under that bowl, you're a good chance of getting a result. And as we play the 10th end, you see that wind now starting to
Yes.
pick up there across the green.
It's quite
Oh, look at the
strong.
wind.
Yeah,
Check
which
it out.
well, you just heard there from Caroline Crawford, and that just seemed to gust across that wind, didn't it? Because
It's pushing I think, that way.
but at this stage of the game, of course, you know, for Snow Reardon and Steve Walker, they really, you know, they've got to score, don't they?
They do.
You know, they're running out of ends, and
This is a bit better, might be a bit skinny.
well, it's the weight, but not going to hold up just quite enough. Is it going to hold up to the green? No, it's not. Rolls into the ditch. So ditch weight is really the call, isn't it? Because at least if you don't get the jack, you can reduce. Caroline Crawford, she, of course, draws in this port here, which is going to be close to be doing.
This is a great bowl.
There's a great bowl here, just going to turn the bowl over. That makes that shot harder now.
Oh, doesn't it?
It was before, it was literally, you know, a 2-bowl target to it. It's now literally a 1-bowl line target to the jack. There was a wee bit of width there to play with weight.
It's still there, but you probably wouldn't get them all.
15.
So, there's another little one.
Okay.
Oh, another little one.
Budding bowlers.
Hey. So, team had a bit of a chat. So Snow Reardon knows now that it's had that chat. This is where they've got to try and reduce. Still going to be tight under the line.
Oh, not far off.
Just a bowl away of really getting some sort of result.
It could be 4.
So there's 3 that have come out.
Oh no, maybe Steve's bowl might be 4.
Having a look at that, calling the umpire again to do the measure, to have a look to see whether it is umpire comes out. 3 have been taken out, so we've completed now getting down the board.
It's awkward for some of the para bowlers to actually measure.
Right.
They often get the umpire, especially if you've only got one arm.
Yes.
Or you can't get down. So it's just as easy to call umpire because it makes it quite difficult.
One of the most adaptable players that I can remember is Peter
Horn
from...
and we do miss him this time. He's not here.
Yeah, he's been an outstanding advocate.
That's not your big.
But-
He has. He's brilliant.
Yeah.
Hello.
He's got mana, that man.
He has. And I can remember playing him a long time ago in fact the Taranaki Open 4s, and remembering how his ability still to measure
Yes.
with which I found
He's pretty skillful.
yeah, it was incredible, but he did it all right. And of course, the other thing which is quite outstanding about Peter Horn was that he was once in the New Zealand forklift championships.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes,
one.
he was. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, he was. I can't remember who he worked for in Wellington, but yeah, that's so very, very versatile. I'll see what the count was.
I think it might have been 5. Not sure.
We'll see that board change in but a moment. There was seemed to be a few kicked out or pushed out now, and there was 2 more on the umpire's measure, I think. There it is, 20-4.
Woohoo.
So there's been 2 big ends, really, hasn't it? There've been Pam, the 11th and that 4th end as well, where both those big numbers. It's they hurt, don't they?
Yeah.
And literally, you get into that point. Wait and see what happens with this.
Is this end 12?
This is end 12.
Yeah.
We're literally running out of ends, aren't
I
you?
think
I like
so.
your line there, Julie.
Yeah, and you've got confidence too when you're ahead.
Well, Julie and
That's lovely.
Caroline have been pretty consistent, really, haven't they?
They have.
And they deserve their lead because they've certainly been very consistent on the draw. Yeah, Peter, of course, was it last year, the year before, was recognised in the awards and fronted Government House, didn't he? And got a gong.
Yes, he did. And he just received it recently in person.
Yes, and well deserved.
Definitely. Yeah, he's a great helper and great community person.
Great motivator.
Mm.
And has certainly, I remember him saying to me that he was determined when the nationals got split up into singles pairs, then the 4s and mixed pairs. He was determined then that there was going to be para teams playing as teams in the National Fours. And here, now we're in our second year of that new format, and that's come to realisation, isn't it?
Yes.
So that's great.
No, well, Aussie started it, and it worked well there.
You can't let Aussie have sole ownership of everything, so you've got to do it, don't you?
Yep, that's correct.
And in the winter down there, you don't play in the winter down there.
No, but Clyde has a small indoor green, so does Alex, and they run a wee tournament.
Oh, and is it carpet in the little...
It is.
Yeah.
It's a small green.
Yeah, good
But
ball
it's very sociable. We used to go on a Monday night sometimes. But one night we got round to pick up the people at Ophir, and it started snowing so hard we turned back and hardly got home. It was like a blizzard. So we never made it that night. That's the only thing in winter up in Central, because you get the bad frosts or the snow.
Well, Ophir, isn't it, that holds the record, isn't it, for the lowest?
I think it does.
Yeah, I'm sure it's Ophir that holds the record for the lowest the lowest temperature.
The Turihura is pretty close too. It's a cold spot.
So the cycle trail, hopefully, it's started to pick up a bit now, I imagine, with domestic tourists traversing around the countryside.
Well, we had that last season really, because we didn't have the international travellers last year, but the Kiwis came.
Yes,
But
yes.
this year the Kiwis, I think they're a bit more hesitant.
Well, we were one of those. We got Marlene and I. We flew into Christchurch, picked up the camper van, and traversed across the west coast. And,
Lovely.
yeah, we thoroughly enjoyed it. We had a couple of weeks away.
The west coast is beautiful.
So Caroline Crawford, who has been very, very consistent, draws just behind, across from the jack, but definitely holding 3 shots. So Snow Redden's been under a lot of pressure, hasn't he, when it changed over. It hasn't been easy.
No.
He's got the bowl out on a reasonably good arc now as it comes towards the jack. Is it going to sit and hold and sit on one of those bowls? No, it's not. And as you said before, you can have those games, can't you, whereby sometimes you sit on them, others you'll just go by. You just, game of inches, isn't it?
It is, and the corrections, they're so small to make. If you're this much over, it's so easy to be bit short on your next one.
So here's Caroline Crawford just going by. Should be quite happy to sit down through that.
Yeah,
cover those areas. Playing it helps with the scoreboard as well. That you've got a bit of biggest thing is you don't drop any large numbers at this point. And I saw a bit of a grimace on Snow Redden's face there, but that's sort of the line.
Yeah, come on.
This is a great attempt here. Well played from.
Yep, that's the shot, I think.
Well played from Snow Redden. Draws right in front of the jack. Makes shot of it. As we come towards the end of 12 of 15 in this final. And remembering we had the men's singles final just prior to that. And we saw Graham Scullen of the Takapuna Club in Auckland defeat Bruce Wakefield of the Burnside Club, the host club here in Christchurch. It's our pleasure, of course, to bring this bowl-by-bowl coverage of the final stages of the Summerset National Pairs and Singles and the Para and Blind Bowls. This is another good attempt here from... he doesn't want to touch the back of the jack, though, on the way through. Just held on. And that's shake hands time. And a 1 there to the Snow Redden and Steve Walker combination, but not enough. And it is the Caroline Crawford skip side. Caroline Sinclair in Dunedin playing with Julie O'Connell of Waverley of Invercargill, who was run out by the winners by 20 shots to 5 in this final here at the Summerset National Bowls, the Para Pairs event. And Pam, fair to say, very much deserved winners, weren't they?
Yes,
The Southern ladies.
Yep, it was pretty clear cut.
So, look, Pam, thank you very, very much for being with us this morning. It's been great to have you along and learn a wee bit about what goes on, and to encouraging those people who maybe have friends, family, whatever, to look at the possibility to be part of the community, and you'll be well catered for, and you've seen out here today and what you've had to say, that it's a welcoming community. Don't be frightened. Contact your local bowling club, and you'll be made welcome.
Yes, we have a Facebook page, and I'm pretty sure that our contact details are on that. So
Great.
you could always look on that.
So thank you very much, Pam.
Thank you.
That completes our coverage for today. And tomorrow, of course, we'll be back here at the Summerset Nationals, the last day of play at the Burnside Greens. And we'll be bringing you tomorrow the live action of the latter stages of the men's pairs, and of course that of the women's singles. So this is Kevin Hicklin and Pam Walker leaving you now, and we trust you've enjoyed our day's coverage.